HIIT family, gather around and have a sweet seat now. I know that there are some people who actually want to see this video on Monday, but of course I made my little venting video, just sharing my thoughts with you guys. I was just going through some things. I wasn't really in the mood to make this video, okay? And basically I'm gonna speak about steady state cardio versus HIIT cardio, because I know there's some kind of misconception about which one is better, which one should we do to get leaner, to burn more fat and whatnot. So let me just break down the difference, okay? Steady state cardio, for those of you guys who don't know, is something like jogging. It's cardio that you're doing for a long period of time, okay? And then there's HIIT cardio, high intensity interval training, like sprints, right? You're doing sprints. Even plyometrics can be considered HIIT cardio. You're training at a high intensity, right, like in short bursts, and then you take like short breaks, and then you go again. So it's like running a sprint, and then you take like a 30-second break, and you run a sprint again. Now that tires you out really fast. Like you'll be done that workout probably in like 10 minutes, depending on your conditioning.
Like for me, I can't even last that long.
So which one is better?
In my opinion, there isn't really one that's better than the other. They both serve their purpose. For example, if you're overweight, I will not make you do freaking high intensity cardio. But if you're like an athlete, I will probably make you do high intensity as well as some steady state cardio, right? For the general population, I will just have them do some steady state cardio. Someone like me, I will do both. This is why I'm in a physiology class, guys. Basically, when you're doing steady state cardio, when you're working at that intensity, which is pretty low, which is why you're able to go for so long, you are actually using more fat as your fuel than you are using your glycogen stores in your muscles, as opposed to HIIT cardio. When you're doing HIIT cardio, you are using more of your glycogen stores more so than fat, because you're training at a certain threshold. There's a certain threshold that you pass, right? So let's say this is the threshold. Once you pass here, boom, you're using the glycogen stores. And then once you go dip down below here and you do steady state, you just do steady state like this, you're mostly using your fat. But here's the thing.
Here's the kicker.
When you are doing high intensity cardio, you are actually burning more calories than you are burning doing steady state cardio. But when you're doing steady state cardio, you are burning more fat, but you're burning less calories. You see the difference? That's the misconception, right? Now that's what I learned. You guys can have your own opinions. Comment down below. Tell me what you believe. At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. But all in all, my favorite thing to do is resistance cardio, aka calisthenics.
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 I know people are like,
Oh my gosh, like calisthenics again. You don't have to always do calisthenics.
look at it, guys. All the guys, most of the guys you see doing calisthenics are shredded, they're lean. Are they the biggest guys? No, but there are some big people who do calisthenics. There is a guy who's 252 pounds who does calisthenics. Just search up Big Tony Bar Stars, okay? This guy's 252 pounds, does calisthenics, and he's huge. Is he lean? Like, you guys could judge for yourself. But typically, a lot of people who do calisthenics are lean, okay? They're lean, and they're not the biggest guys, because people who do calisthenics don't really care to bodybuild. That's not their joy. Our joy is to do flips, do handstands, to do sick stuff with our body, okay? So, the thing is, because we're having so much fun doing that, we will be training outside for long periods of time. We're doing resistance training, but because we're training for so long, it's like cardio. It really is like cardio, right? So basically, since you're putting the two together, you are going to be keeping your muscle that you built while being able to train for long periods of time. Therefore, you're using more of your fat as fuel and not just your glycogen. Of course, you're using glycogen, but you're using more so of your fat, because of course, if you're able to train for so long, you can't rely on your glycogen stores. Your glycogen stores actually get depleted really fast. It gets depleted really fast. So basically, you guys use that information, do whatever you want, right? Do whatever you want. I'm just trying to share this information to you guys so that I can help you guys train in different ways. Like, you don't just have to bodybuild. You don't just have to do calisthenics. You don't just have to power lift. You can do everything. You only have one life, bro. Like, you only have one life. So enjoy it. Do all these different type of things, and trust me, you'll see results, okay? So I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Done.